Okay, part 2 of the graphing quadratic equations. Okay, this is about what is this first difference column and this second difference column. In the last section, we basically found these 2 points. That's my x value, 4, 16, 3, 9. These are all points on my quadratic function y equals x squared. Okay, but what does this first difference mean? What does first difference and second difference mean? Okay, and we're going to learn about that right now. Okay, so we have our values, our x and y values. Okay, our first difference is basically 16 minus 9. The difference between the steps between my x values. So I have my y values. 16 minus 9 is 7. The next thing we're going to do is take 9 minus 4. Well, 9 minus 4 equals 5. And the next step is we're just examining this at this stage. 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay. You might start to think, why are we even bothering doing this? Just bear with me for a minute. 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. And now on this side, 0 minus 1. Minus 1. 1 minus 4. Minus 3. 4 minus 9. Minus 5. 9 minus 6. Again, minus 7. Do you notice? I want you to take notice of these are pretty much very similar, but they're going in opposite directions and they're negative. Okay, so what's the significance of this? And the difference between these numbers, by the way, each time is 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. From 1 to 3 is 2. From minus 1 to 1 is 2. Basically, the difference between all of these first differences is 2. My second differences are constant. This is kind of what defines a quadratic equation. Now, what does this mean? Okay, what this means is that this is what we call a step pattern. If we start from 0, 0, which is basically my vertex, which is basically my vertex, if I take one step out, my first step will be 1. Moving along the x-axis by 1, my next step will be, see how I circled that 3 there? 1, 2, 3. My next step will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my next step will be 7. And that's just a quick way to draw this shape, this parabola. On the other side as well, my step is 1, 3, 5. And the steps just increase by 1. They increase by 2 every time. I took 3 steps, now I'm going to take 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I end up getting a parabola. 1 step, 3 steps, 5 steps. So what was the purpose of this video? Was to show you how to draw a quadratic function very quickly. And that is to recognize that there's a step pattern to every quadratic equation. And the step pattern is going to be, the first step is going to be 1. The next step is going to be 2. Between the first point and between what this is called is the vertex. Between the vertex and the next point will be 1 step up. Then I have 3 steps. My next step will be 3. Do you see how it's 3 steps? This is my step pattern based on my first difference. My next step will be 5. each time my step increases by 2. My next step will be, that's it, 7. We can't graph it here, but you can go ahead and verify that. The purpose of this video was to show you that every quadratic equation is a parabola, and every parabola has a step pattern, which is defined by its first difference.